What's up? What's the word?
Music is a form of therapy, and it can help us through a lot of things, right? But the issue that we have a lot of time in our community is the music that we listen to. It doesn't calm us or it doesn't help us bring peace. It actually fuels that violence, fuels that trauma, fuels the anxiety. So I'm gonna give you the floor for you to speak on that.
I'm on your side, Aaron, just to let you know.
Well,
I agree
you
with
know,
you.
I think when we like this is how I look at it, right? Like we think about drill music, right? And uh, like people will say, and I agree. Like part of drill music is talking about the culture, the environment in which you're in which you're growing up, right? And so it's like, all right, we're talking about it, but then you do have certain messaging that's being promoted that goes back to what I said earlier, like black men being arrested for unlawful use of weapons, like it's crazy in Cook County, and they all black. Like 75% of the arrests are black, right, and are getting classed for felonies. But that's a byproduct of what's being normalized of how life is supposed to be in regards to carrying guns. Where now it's a fad. Where so we got 13, 14-year-olds coming in probation because they got ARs and they got switches, and that's what's being promoted and what they listening to. And they like a couple kids, like we get about 40 kids a month. And out of those 40 kids, 35 got gun cases, right? And out of that 35, 20 to 25 was because of some switches or something. Like I think we got to think about they listening to it. And now it's fragmented because they listening to the kids on their block that's rapping about this stuff, right? Like it ain't even like they listening to mainstream like that. It's that local rapper that's on your local block, and this is what they talking about. That's reinforcing all this stuff, and it's real, it's reality, right? And my critics say to me, "Well, Aaron, you got other races, other people. They listen to this, they have fun. Or other people they listen, and they don't do nothing to them." But I think the thing is that when you're listening to something and this is your reality and this is all you hear, this is all you see, then you think this is how life is supposed to be. It's different when you got stepped out, went to another area, another neighborhood, another community. You saw how life is. You live in a different life, and this is fun. This is entertainment. I step in and step out. But a lot of our kids in our communities, this is all they know. Like I don't know. It's two theories like or studies that were done, right? And one was with dogs, and basically they put and now I don't like the study because I'm a dog lover. I got a dog, so but the study is interesting in the sense that they took dogs, they put them in a cage, right, and they kind of put like electricity by the door, and every time the dog would try to leave that door, they would shock the dog. After a while, the dog said, "Forget it, I'm not going to the door anymore," and they just laid in a cage. But then that dog had puppies, and the puppies were taught the same thing, so they didn't even try to escape the door. And then those puppies had puppies; it was the same thing. And so what happens is it's learned helplessness. It's a condition, and so it's the same thing in our community. We've been conditioned to be this way. It's a perpetual cycle. It's what we taught. It's what we see, whether in media and TV, our environment. We're fueled these things, and we think this is how life is supposed to be. Now, some people are able to see something different and step out, right? And so I'm not saying this everybody, but like we got kids who we work with who have never left or seen downtown Chicago, or let alone ever left Chicago in their little radius community. Like that's a reality that happens a lot, right? So if all you see is one particular environment and then the music you listen to, it ain't give you no hope. It ain't give you none. It's telling you to do the same thing. We got the ops, we da da da. It's reinforcing these same behaviors psychologically. And then we have this perpetual, like nobody else, no other race has the level of media that we have that promotes what it promotes and what it does, right? Now, I mean, just let's like impact. I'm about to put some research out that shows it, right? So, because I know we got to get to the data, so I'm working on that. But like, nobody else is like being conditioned in our community the way it is. And like, my question is, why is that? Like, and again, we can go deeper into this. So, so now we got somebody that's dealing with depression. We got somebody that's dealing with trauma, right? You got somebody who witnessed their cousin be killed and there's no like hope. They listen to the same thing, and so it's that hey retaliation. Let me do something, and so then this person then ends up in the same situation, either dead or incarcerated. But it's because of the environment and because of the ear gates, right? Like I mean, your ear gates, all this stuff is like it's important that we recognize what we feed ourselves, right?
What
And
we feed ourselves. Nah, that's valid because I know personally, I I literally like we just having this conversation and we could probably I don't know we got the picture with all with the
Are we
little
putting
dude
that up?
when the little dudes
Can we put that on
was
YouTube?
pointing. I don't know if you seen it, But it was a viral picture of these rappers from Chicago.
Did it go viral?
Yeah,
Definitely
on
it definitely
Facebook.
went,
did?
it went
Facebook,
viral.
No Jumper talked about it.
Yeah, it went on
Oh.
all the little blog sites. That's why Joel Q called them out. Like, why y'all promoting this negative stuff? But it's a bunch of rappers from the city, and they in a circle doing a Spider Man meme, but they're holding guns at each other. You know the Spider Man meme when they look at each other like that, they point at each other, but they're just pointing they're pointing guns at each other.
Oh, I ain't gonna say that. Go ahead.
But it's little things like that, like how you just said, they just fool because all the kids think it's cool. Like, oh, that's cool, so I'm gonna do that with my friends, or I'm gonna have the guns out with my friend, like, cause that they think that was cool. And the way hip hop is going now, like at first I was with me and the debate me and you used to have was that the people are rapping, it's the product of the environment. It's the same thing when NWA came out, like everybody was just rapping the product of their environment. Where they come in, they just telling their truth. But now it's to a point now where it's like, and I don't know if because I've been exposed to more now, and I've been to college, and I traveled the world, and I've seen things. Well, that's not my environment. It's not my reality no more. So I don't even like listening to that type of music. Like I'm throwing on R&B, I'm throwing on Nas, I'm throwing on some Afro beats, things that's gonna make me think, make me feel good, that give me motivation. Like I ain't really thinking about, what I'm saying, no killing and stuff like that. But I do understand when I'm listening to Kill Shit by G Herbo, or not a shout out, just not saying G Herbo, but just certain music when I'm outside, give me a different aggression. Like when
Oh,
I'm in the club, like why he looking at me like that? And it really be like,
oh,
nah, G. Like ain't nobody getting shot to Bob Marley. Like,
Please, that's how I be feeling like when
like
people
hey,
be
that's facts
fighting.
though. That's right though.
When
It's
people be
give you a
fighting at
whole
like
different
R&B concerts, it's like, bro,
vibe.
Monica's singing.
singing.
Like, why are y'all fighting at a Monica concert? Like, we supposed to be loving on each other.
Like Brit Fire ass concerts be looking smooth.
Okay,
Yeah.
like a vibe.
It be like a vibe, and I think I think that's why I'm at in life because that's what I've been exposed to. But when you go back to the community, a lot of the shorties they not exposed to it, and that's kind of the reason why we got this platform. What's the word to elevate voices and try to expose people to different things. So like I'm conceding on air that I'm on your side with this argument. We've been going back and forth with this
Yay.
Okay.
argument for
Hey,
years.
Yay. You the first person that ever can
hey,
tell you
I
take
can go home
accountability.
now. I'm good. I got
Okay.
nothing back.
It's done.
'Cause me and Mallory would go back and forth like literally when I first told her to get on the show, you like you know how I am. Cause he was gonna go, but
Okay, you made some very valid point. Even in the media space, like I think the big difference between like the shorties in like the media space and how we portray or how like that culture is portrayed in the media space, everybody on the media side just looks at it as entertainment when they know it to be their reality. So when you looking at something that you live through every day and you're with these artists that's making 600K, 700K views on the video that they put out and they shot it on the block and spent like $400 on it, and you see everybody sharing it and posting it, you think that's the way that I gotta stop doing it. My nail is gone. Sorry, I forgot what I said. You'll think that that's the way that life's supposed to go. Like that's your reality. Like you said, you're not exposed to anything else. But everybody else on the other side, on the receiving end of it, they have a choice. They can
Real.
step into it when they pre-gaming. We can step into it when we in the club. But 8 o'clock in the morning the next day, we putting on our suits how we going to work. Like we have that choice to click out. And a lot of people that are still in our neighborhoods and still around this culture, they don't have that choice. Or they don't think that they have that choice.
I don't know how true this is. So man, I'm not in tune with everything. But I saw something that said Future said he don't do drugs. And if that's true, these kids are doing so much of these drugs. Like we got kids that are doing opioids and Xanax. It's crazy. And
Because the amount of futures in the world, everybody
so
else doing drugs.
So if he's not and promoting this, I mean it's bogus either way. But if he's really not doing these drugs and then I mean it's we got so many kids that we work with who are doing these drugs as a byproduct, as a coping mechanism, and I know they learned this as a coping mechanism by the music and the culture that they see. So they're trying to deal with their trauma, but they popping these pills and they doing all this stuff because they feel like that's what get them at a base level to calm down a little bit. And so my thing is, it's scary to say that somebody is creating all of this content. I mean, majority of his content that's what he's promoting. If he's not doing it, that's the thing about media is that we have to be conscious of what we put out here because young people are listening to it and thinking this is how life is supposed to be, and and it's very dangerous.
Hey, what's up? What's the word?